Hold my head inside your hands.
The study that I mentioned about the orgasm being the most discussed and most sought after experience in the sexual relationship for the woman, because in males it almost always occurs, but in women it is not. That was a study by Dr. Elizabeth Lloyd and was published in the Royal Society Journal. She said here, 1 in 3 women reported never or seldom achieving orgasm during intercourse, and only 1 in 10 always orgasmed. This variation in ability to orgasm, generally thought to be psychological, was found to be 34 to 45% organic in nature. In other words, 30% of women probably would not experience the orgasm, but they would still enjoy the sexual experience as a whole, as another study done by Rosemary Basson in the late 1980s, where she said, desire feeds arousal and orgasm, and is in turn fueled by the rest of the orgasmic cycle. Rather than orgasm being the peak of the sexual experience, she noted that it is just one point in the circle, and that people could feel sexually satisfied at any stage, reducing the focus on climax as an end goal of all sexual activities. That is an important point to remember. Now, for the 1 in 10 who experience orgasm always, there is no difficulty. For the ones who don't experience it, there seems to be no significant difficulty, because they can enjoy the rest of the experience, and what you don't know that you're missing, obviously. It's the 6 out of 10 in the middle that if they've experienced orgasmic sexual relationships at a younger age and it started to disappear with aging after the menopause, for example, or because of psychological difficulties, diseases, using drugs, all that can affect this experience, then it becomes a source of frustration, and there are treatments that can be given to try to help, because one of the commonest causes is coming to the menopause, hormones reduce, the vaginal lubrication is dry, discomfort and sometimes pain occur, and that can be helped by other lubricants or by hormone replacement therapy. This would help the lubrication function work again, so the woman would be able to enjoy a better relationship. The other thing that is always advised to all partners, males, men and husbands, is be very slow and be very considerate in the foreplay, which is the excitement phase. Don't be so greedy and so selfish that you want to go into the penetrative sexual relationship, the full relationship, because if you do this, it usually takes 2 to 3 minutes between starting the penetration and the ejaculation in the male, and he will have an orgasm, but she would not enjoy the experience as much. And as we've heard, the excitement phase in the woman can take many minutes, maybe even 10, 15, half an hour. It depends on her psychological mood and how well prepared she is before starting. Now we'll have a little chat about masturbation. Masturbation means exciting oneself to achieve an orgasm and sexual pleasure without having a partner. I will start by giving you what the Wikipedia has described as the religious views on masturbation. First of them is by the Roman Catholic Church. They consider masturbation as an offense against chastity, a sin. Masturbation is an intrinsically and gravely disordered action. The Eastern Orthodox Church also has a similar understanding, because masturbation is a self-directed and by its nature incapable of expressing love and concern for another person. It is viewed as a distortion of the use of the gift of sexuality. He makes a summary for the opinions of several renowned Orthodox scholars in the 20th century by saying the common opinion is sexual sins of fornication, adultery, masturbation and cybersex, which is sex through the internet, whether by observing pornography or two people talking to one another and exciting one another, as well as hatred, jealousy, drunkenness and other sins, are sins of the heart as much as the body. Protestantism, traditionally condemned, but some at present are pro-masturbation. They view it in two examples. One of them is they see it as within the range of allowable sexual behavior, as it guards against adultery and premarital sex. Some are actually even pro-masturbation for young people and for the married couples because of the reason given, and also because of it could be a method of balancing differing libidos, that's the sexual desire, between spouses. If one is requesting a higher frequency or a higher rate of sexual intercourse and the other one is not able to cope with that, then it could seem to be more kind and merciful from the person who is more demanding that masturbation, whether he himself alone or with the help of his spouse, usually it's the wife who has a lower desire than the man, can help. And it is seen in that case, that's how Dr. Awsam Wasfi described it on the channel Mu'jiza, that it is within the marital relationship and all the sexual fantasies that go with it are related to the spouse, in which case it is a relief of a sexual tension and it is not the same like masturbation. Looking at the Bible, the Old Testament contains only one story in Genesis 24 of a man who used to practice coitus interruptus, which means withdrawal before ejaculation, when he was married to his brother's widow and decided he doesn't want to give his name to the offspring. In the New Testament, the main point we rely on is the words of Christ that he who looks at a woman and lusts for her has committed adultery in his mind. But as you can see, this is not talking about masturbation, it's talking about the sinning by thought. But that is taken and applied to masturbation by the monastic tradition, and I think that is the basic reason why all churches from the early centuries, East and West, try to take that stance against masturbation. Also in the epistle of Judah, verse 8, he's talking about the dreamers or those who have visions and sin to their bodies. Whether he's talking about night dreams, which Athanasius said it shouldn't be condemned, or he's talking about masturbation, it's not clear, but this is all what I could find in the Bible, and the word masturbation or some experience similar has not been described as far as I understand. In the next video clip, we are going to read what the secular world tell us about masturbation and whether it has any physical and social problems or not, as we have discussed the religious side of it.